Hi, wanted to make a short video on how to make paste for bookbinding. I'm going to be making the paste in a glass measuring cup. You'll see I'll be pouring some boiling water into it, so you just really need any cup or bowl that you can safely pour boiling water into. I'm making it out of cornstarch, and this is just regular cornstarch, the same you'd use for cooking. And I'm going to start with a tablespoon of the cornstarch, and then a tablespoon of water, and this is just cold water just out of the tap. And I'm going to mix these two together, just making a bit of a slurry. It shouldn't be too hard to get them mixed. There, that's good. One thing useful to notice here is that it's opaque, it's white right now. As I pour the boiling water into it, you'll see that it turns translucent, and that will be because the cornstarch has cooked. And it's great, cornstarch cooks very quickly, so a little bit of boiling water actually cooks it, essentially instantaneously. So I'm going to just get my water boiling again. I've just got it in a kettle beside me here. There you go. So as I pour this in, you'll see that it's right around now, it's beginning to get translucent. You can see that, I hope. It's not perfectly translucent, so I'm quickly going to stir it a bit more, and that's just so that if there were any little bits of the cornstarch that were sort of in a group or a bundle, it all sort of gets mixed into the water and it finishes cooking. And there you have it. It's become quite thick. And so this is hot, and I would never use it hot. I would always put this in the fridge and let it cool down before I used it. It is just, as you saw, it's just cornstarch and water, so it actually will eventually get moldy. So again, a good reason to keep it in the fridge and in a covered container, so that just lets it last a little bit longer. But if it gets moldy, just throw it away and make another batch. I got some that I made, I think yesterday, that just came out of the fridge. I decanted just a little bit of it into a container. I will tend to just decant the little bit I'm going to use at any given time, and that just again keeps the big batch from lasting longer because it's staying in the fridge and it's not drying out. Like right now, if I got this uncovered, it's just going to dry out a bit as well. And I will tend to, whatever I don't use today, I tend to just throw it away rather than put it back in the container. But again, that's just sort of making it last longer. And you'll see that this has become quite gelatinous now. And so before you use it, you want to just smush it around a bit and get it you break up the gelatinous bit a little bit. I'm just using the same brush I will use to actually put it onto stuff later. And basically, there's a sound that is potentially a little is a gloopy sound that not everyone likes, but you're basically just mushing it together until it gets gloopy. And that's getting there. I think I might do it a little bit more on a normal time, but I'm not going to make you spend a lot of time watching me do this and also listening to the sound that some people don't like. So this is certainly good enough to work with. And then just to show you what you do with paste. Paste is really well suited for working with paper and, say for example, attaching paper to board. It's a great adhesive in that it gives you some time to, it doesn't set immediately like a white glue. It gives you a little bit of time to move things around if you don't get something perfectly in place the first time, but ultimately when it dries, it's as strong as any other adhesive. So I'm just going to show you how to use it here. I've just got a piece of paper here. I'm actually going to use that to cover in an area on a board that I put some other paper on the other day. I actually did a pretty crappy job of putting the other paper on, but you'll forgive me for that. So I'm just spreading a layer of paste on the paper. I'm trying to keep the paper in one place on this piece of wax paper just to sort of keep paste from moving it around and getting paste on the other side. And then when it's got the paste on it, a good smooth layer. For thicker paper, sometimes you'll want to put a couple layers on, sort of let it soak in a bit, but this is a machine-made Japanese paper, so it's quite thin and it absorbs the paste pretty easily. So then I'm just going to lay it down on the board. And there it is. I mean, right now I could lift it up again, as you can see. If I wasn't in the right place, I can lift it up again and I could put it somewhere else, but once it dries, it will be on as solidly as any other adhesive. There you go. Thanks for listening.